So you're not ringing?
Yeah.
Just make sure everything is on.
Yeah.
There you go, Bert.
And you're live.
Okay.
Let me make sure I can hear this.
All right, Coach Davis, the AD said he's good for tomorrow morning.
Okay. Good morning, all. It is 9:33 here on this Thursday morning, and we're going to have an interview with KBEL's superintendent, Dr. Alan Bryant. And also joining us this morning is teacher and coach John Harjo. I'd like to thank you guys for joining us this morning. And, we're a week into the new school year, and got a few things I want to touch on in, as far as interviews. So first thing we're going to get into, how is everything going with the bell-to-bell no cell policy?
Well, from what I've observed, we're doing pretty well with it. Our students, for the most part, are. Probably the campus that it had the biggest impact on was the high school. The other campuses, we were already pretty much no cell phone bell-to-bell, so it was new for our high school students, but they seem to be getting into the habit of not having the cell phone. We'll see how it goes throughout the year, but on the few times I've been on the campus, I haven't noticed an issue with it, and I think that eventually everyone gets used to it. It'll probably be a good change for them.
Right. I mean, I went to school, 30 plus years ago. So, of course, cell phones were invented by that time. And how the next thing is how are parents adjusting to it? Because I know there was some pushback from the parents across the school district on what are we going to do in case an emergency happens. How does that work?
You're right. There was some probably pushback initially about that, and probably had more struggles with parents adapting to it than we did with students. But recently, at least has not come to me so much with a parent discontent on it for the most part. And so, you're right. I mean, we're back years ago when I was in school, no cell phones. We got along just great then. And so I think it's just a matter of adjusting to it. And once everyone is adjusted and know that we have the best interests of our students and their children at heart, and we're going to take care of them, that I think we will probably be in a good place with it.
Absolutely. And, it can also bring back old school methods of communication, passing notes, because, with computers and cell phones, you forget that you got to write stuff down every now and again. And, all forms of communication needs to be learned, because you never know. You may lose that cell phone, and you may need to memorize a number or two in case of emergency. So that's actually a big thing that could be a positive, an unexpected positive, like being able to write a phone number or something down and have it in your wallet, have it in a purse, have it in your pocket, or just memorize it, because that's something that just seems to have been a lost art these days.
Right. And I think the parents probably are more adapting to it now, because they know it's not just a district policy. The districts were required to adapt a policy that was within the state statutes, and that's what most every district has done, and all policies look very similar. So it's not like the district had any options on it, just to put a policy in place that meets the state statutes, and then we'll see how it goes. There may be adjustments next year. Don't know exactly what that looks like.
Yeah, that was something else I was going to get to. Like currently, do they just have satchels or something that they put their phones in at the beginning of the day, or do they just leave them in their locker, or just leave them at home? How does that work?
Well, probably any of the above would work. The middle school, we're not changing anything that we've done at our middle school. Those have been turned in to the office every day when the student enters school. That's been the procedure for years at middle school, and that didn't change. What really changed was high school, and so the way that procedure is working at the high school, the students are required to turn it off and then keep it on them, as long as it's not visible and not turned on and active. If it becomes active, it becomes visible, then it just becomes a discipline issue with that individual student.
Right. And, taking your phone away or something like that, that's not bad compared to, I think I've seen other school districts, they're trying to charge fines,
Right.
like upwards in the 4 and 5 digits. So nothing too crazy like that. And we'll see how it works and see how things look moving forward throughout the school year. And, hopefully this is something that can be implemented and stays through future school years, because I understand kids need to focus on their schoolwork and not be distracted. I understand, your phone can come in handy if you're typing a paper, because you have Microsoft Word and programs like that. It comes in handy after school and to keep notes and things like that. But when you're from class to class, then yes, absolutely, you don't need your phone. I mean, I know there are all kinds of calculator apps and things like that. And with the advent of AI, you can get help that way. But it doesn't hurt to actually learn what you need to do moving forward. So
Correct.
that out of the way, that gives us time to talk about current actions of our state superintendent, Ron Walters. The big thing we were talking about before we came in here was the testing and tying it to funds for schools across the state. Find that really unnecessarily. That's in the day and age of IEPs, that is a lot of pressure to put on a student, knowing that if I do well, the school gets funding. If I don't do well, the school risks losing funding. How is that? What are your thoughts on that, first of all?
Well, of course, there are a lot of changes that are being proposed in regard to state testing. Whether those are able to be implemented this year or not is still somewhat up in the air. I think some of the changes that are proposed could be good, that we would move away from a standardized end of the school year test that would measure the student's academic achievement to being more one of a growth model, where we will measure where each individual student is at the beginning of the year and then benchmark them throughout the end of the year, again, test at the end of the year. We can see the actual growth of each student. Again, that's still up in the air a little bit on what that may look like. But if that does come into play and what the state would determine would be an appropriate score based on that, if that's not unrealistic, I mean, it could be a good deal if we're just looking for growth, if there's no punitive way to hurt a school financially. And so that's still up in the air. I don't know how that's going to play out. Maybe another year or two before that's in place, but I know that that's what they're working on at the State Department right now.
This just popped in as you were talking. Are they going to adjust like your grading scales? Has there been discussion on that? Because I think I've seen other states looking at doing that.
So as far as state testing, yes, the cut scores changed again this year. Last year, the cut scores were changed after the state test was administered. Don't know exactly why the decision was made to change those cut scores last year, but it had a very positive effect on what our students' outcomes were, simply by changing what the cut scores were between proficient and needs improvement. This year, they reverted back, changed those cut scores back to what they were the previous year, which had a negative impact on scores for students and for school districts. So without having a consistent measure and a consistent cut score, it's hard for a school, even a family or a student, to determine whether they're showing any growth or learning anything, or even for a school to understand where we may have holes that we need to work on in our curriculum to make sure our students are getting all that they need as far as each individualized standard. If those cut scores continue to change, there's no way for us to be able to to use that data to make any informed decisions about what we may need to change in our curriculum.
Let's see, are there any other issues statewide that you've learned about since the beginning of the school year that are coming from the Oklahoma City area? I know the whole thing with vouchers and stuff, with charter schools, private schools, but there are no private schools around here. I mean, there's a Grace Academy down the road, but as far as like your epic charter schools or anything like that, there's nothing like that in this area, is there?
Well, Epic is all, it's would be a school that would be like a public school, but it's virtual. And so there are students in our community that are part of Epic. Epic has had some difficulties over the past year, but they're still, a big school district within the state of Oklahoma, and there are students in our district who are part of Epic. Of course, it is all online. It's virtual type instruction. It's no face-to-face in our area, and so students miss out on a lot of interaction and also miss out on being able to participate in a lot of the extracurricular fun type activities that normal in-person brick and mortar type students get to participate in.
I absolutely agree with that. You have to have that face-to-face daily interaction with your students, with teachers, with coaches, and just everybody across the board. Because you can't go through life not interacting with anybody. It helps you out socially and just throughout life, period. So definitely that's one definite plus of being in a public school or any kind of brick and mortar institution like that. You're going to have to interact with people, and it's going to help you out. Whether you know it or not right then or there, it's going to help you out. So that's going to tie us into our final topic is I always say at the end of the Warrior Minute that airs every Monday and Thursday, get out there and support your Warriors. And I mean that across everything, not just every sport, but academically, the academic bowl team, your arts, your band, your vocal students, your ag students that have the shows and everything like that. They do a lot of traveling too. So if you have a chance, get out there and support all of your students, regardless of if you have a kid or not in school, if you have a cousin, brother, sister, anything like that. And actually, today is a bit of a busy day here in Warrior Nation. Both the football and softball teams will be in action. They will be in Antlers today. The softball team is scheduled to play Antlers this afternoon at 5 o'clock. And then the football team will have their scrimmage. Lone scrimmage of the preseason is Otterville, Antlers, Kingston, and then Holdenville is added to the scrimmage. So that will take place at Antlers. That will start at 6 o'clock. If you are interested in going, they're taking donations. They're taking monetary donations. You can also donate protein bars, protein drinks, Gatorade, or laundry detergent. That would be good to get you in to watch Otterville in their lone preseason scrimmage. The softball field is not too far away. Actually, they share the same parking lot. So if you happen to make that trip to Antlers, by all means do so. And then the softball team is also playing in the festival at Murray State College over in Tishomingo. We have Mercedes Lopez. She's just starting her career out over there, and they may bump into her. And also, cross country team that got off to a good start last week. I was there in person to watch them, and they have a meet in Bryant Saturday morning. And the weather may be a little better. It may not be as hot. So, Coach Harjo, I haven't had a chance to get you on here. Do you want to talk about your cross country team or anything like that we mentioned so far?
Absolutely. We started off really well this year. We ran to Wright City, like you said. One of our runners finished second overall by about 5 seconds. He ran a 10-minute, 11-second 2-mile run. It was a 3,200 meters for our first meet of the year. A lot of times these earlier meets aren't the full 5K because everybody's getting used to the heat. Everybody's getting used to the distances and everything. We started cross country July 15th, which is what we legally can do through the OSSAA. We spent the majority of our time running up in Beaver's Bend, the state park. We missed one day because Coach Bray, who is now cross country this year, she had something to do with reading intervention, so we ran it in school. We went back up there the next day, and all the workers in the park were worried. They said, "We didn't see you guys yesterday. We were starting to get a little worried. You guys are here every morning." Sometimes we were beating them to work, but doing a lot of that helped us out, getting the extra mileage in, the hills, the uphills, the declines, teaching them how to run the hills up and down, and the cold water afterwards. A lot of them loved to swim at first, but then as time went on, the coach, "Man, we don't want to swim. Let's just go."
Right.
I said, "No, you got to get your legs in. Get your legs in for about 15 minutes, and we'll hop on the bus and we'll come back home." But we actually won the meet at Wright City. They don't have like a team plaque or a team trophy, but we ran against Durant and Wright City, which are two really, really good distance programs. Johnny Crabtree up in Wright City does a really good job. The lady at Durant, she actually was a cross-country coach at Hayworth. She helped, I think she coached Coach Bray when she was there, along with Coach Crabtree. And Crabtree hired her out there, and that's where that connection comes from. But Durant's a really good, historically good distance program. So winning that for the boys was kind of a big deal. The girls, we didn't have a full team. We have a couple that were, one was kind of newer to us. She's a freshman, and the other one, who's a junior, she had an issue with her knee that we're hoping gets worked out in the next couple of weeks, because we keep telling the kids, regionals and state, these other meets, these are just like full speed practices going into regionals and state. I think she'll be fine when it comes time, because when we were doing our preseason training, she was doing really, really, really well.
All right. Hey, once again, good luck on Saturday morning. If you're not doing anything Saturday morning, head out to Bryant, watch these kids run, and it's high school, middle school, and the elementary kids. So good luck to you guys this weekend. Good luck to everybody involved. Hopefully, I'll be talking about softball team picking up victories. The middle school team's doing pretty good. So shout out to Coach Watson. But here momentarily, we're going to have the 950 edition of the Warrior Minute that keeps you up to date with everything associated with Audible Sports. So we're going to interview, and you're going to catch that online right about now. Well, maybe not. Oh, it's gonna come on closer to 10 o'clock. But yeah, that's something that airs every Monday and Thursday, 7:50, 9:50, and 11:50. So you have 3 chances to catch it and be caught up on everything going on with KBEL. Also, be sure to check out the KBEL Sports Facebook page for additional information. So, thanks for coming on, and we're going to have the athletic director, Coach Davis, on tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay, so.
Did you ever join the track and cross country Facebook page?
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Because we post results there. Once they officially post the results, I'll take screenshots of that and I'll post them there.
Okay.
So rather than, even though sometimes it takes a day, I don't post all the photos from the meet or information from the meet, because I want it to just be one big post.
Right. I know they said there's not going to be any team championships, or just whoever's in the top 15 medals, and that's
Right. Well, Wright City was the same way, but they still keep team points,
right.
just to show you where you're sitting. But beating Durant was big for us.
Yeah, they brought a bunch of runners too. I noticed that right off the.
You know why Colby got second? He was there. You know why Colby got second?
Well,
He stopped and tied his shoe.
oh wow! Otherwise, he would have won.
He stopped, dead stop, middle of the race, Like the four-wheeler stop.
Unless that shoe's flopping off or getting in the way, you keep going, kick it off.
Kick
run
that sucker off.
Mhm.
Where holding this. No, he stopped to tie his shoe.
Was that where you got past or?
No, when he got past right before the finish line. If you
Right.
remember, when they go up that little hill, you hit a flat spot, and it's really from that wall to that wall out there.
He was in front until
He was in front until then, and he tripped.
Oh.
When he hit the top, there's just a little divot, and he hit that divot, went down, the Durant got past him.
Hey, you remember the little 5K they had up here this summer? That Summerfest deal?
Yeah.
And I ran in that one, but he came up and ran that one. And he got lost. He got lost. There was no police car leading it on this particular one. He was out front. And he went too far down. Didn't make a turn back, and he had to turn around and come back. He'd have won the thing, and he still wound up third, second.
Yeah, Victor won.
Yeah.
Victor said, he goes, Coach, I was running, and I saw Kobe like going the wrong way, so I was yelling. And then he just kept going, and I was like, well, I got to go this way. He goes, and I turned around a little bit later, and he had finished second. Yeah. He ran 2 miles in 10 minutes.
That's fast.
Yeah. If we can
And
get
he's a freshman.
if we can get 3 out of him like that, he'll win the whole thing. It don't matter what private school's going to get. And what training regime that they
You know who his relatives are. You know who his relatives are.
Glenn?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I took Glenn out of the track shirt when he came down this summer.
Oh, did you?
When they had the reunion and everything going on. I would go up, see who's in town and run over and say hi. And I saw he was selling the cheesecake over there. And I had not been able to go, to Oklahoma City or buy anything. I told Ron, let's run out there and get some cheesecakes for everybody. And so I took him out there.
Cornelius, thank you a lot.
No
Appreciate it.
problem. Not a problem.
Oh,
We'll have company to send tomorrow morning at the same time.
so I'll take, do you have Davis's number?
Yes.
Okay, like I said, I'll text it to you. The mic will take you.
We was wondering if we, maybe next Friday, we get players before school, just come up here and kind of get everybody just like, game day, everybody come out since game's away.
No, next Friday is Labor Day.
Next time. That's the Friday leading into Labor.
Yeah. We won't have any cross country stuff. That's not good. This is football players.
Oh, yeah, football will be fine,
What time?
or 7:30, then.
And I'll have Kincaid on that later on. Am I gonna have to, I know years past, I've started at 9, but we can adjust. Do I need to start at 9:30? Or are y'all like doing 9 on Friday?
I'll talk to Coach Davis, he's the athletic director.
Okay. Okay, anytime the week, if they can't do it Friday, just anytime next week, just before the season, just kind of get a. Okay. All right, then just call us up here and let us know. Yeah. I told them anything, they got cheerleaders, anything and stuff they got going on here, we welcome them on. He does, I don't have any problem.
Yeah, that's fine. That, if they happen to be in the stands during games, they have room to get them on there, that's fine too. I don't know if they're gonna be in the stands or in the press box next week. Because I know they have like all in all, they have a small press box. I don't know if it's gonna be me, Aaron, and Ryan, or just me and Aaron, or
Just get one of the stars, let us know anything I got going on. MICAH. Yeah. That's the guy.
I said, boy. I saw that.
time to get that goes to where it goes back to break. Because that's where you're in, that should be playing any time now.
Diana Williston says, good interview.
Yeah, I'm in school with her.
Okay.